I wake up on the floor of my old apartment with a phone pressed to my ear and Vanessa's voice saying, "I need you back in the office. Now." I know this voice. I know this night. I know that if I say yes, I will spend the next 6 hours rewriting a disaster of a proposal that Vanessa sabotaged herself. I will stand in front of the board at 8 a.m. and take every single bullet she aimed at me. And 2 years from now I will be packing my desk while she scrolls through Instagram and doesn't even look up. I hang up that my thumb moves before my brain catches up. The dial tone hums in my ear. And I stare at the cracked ceiling above my bed. August 21st. 3 years ago. I'm 26 again, sleeping in a studio apartment with a leaking faucet and a fridge full of expired yogurt. And Vanessa just called me to be her human shield for the Hanley Group presentation. Last time. I went. Last time. I sat at my desk until 4 a.m. turning her garbage into something almost presentable. And when the board asked why the cost projections didn't match the client's original brief, I said it was my oversight. I apologized. I practically begged for forgiveness while Vanessa sat in the corner with her legs crossed, and a tiny smirk on her face like she just won a game I didn't know we were playing. She didn't even thank me. I sit up so fast my head spins. The clock on my nightstand says 11:47 p.m. I have 12 minutes before she calls again. In my last life she called 3 times. The second time, I picked up and said I was already on my way. The third time, I was in a cab, telling her I'd have the revisions done by sunrise. I reach for my bag on the floor. The leather is cracked at the corners, just like I remember. My fingers find the pocket where I used to keep breath mints and receipts, and they close around something cold and metal. A thumb drive. I don't remember putting it there, but I also don't remember waking up this morning in my old body with 3 years of memories burning behind my eyes. I plug it into my laptop. The file opens. It's the entire Hanley Group project history, every email, every revision, every passive-aggressive note Vanessa scribbled in the margins that she never let me see until it was too late. I don't know how it got here. I don't know how I got here. But I know exactly what to do with it. My phone buzzes. Vanessa. I let it ring. Then I open my email and start forwarding. Eleanor Chun first. Senior board member. She's been at Sterling for 22 years and she hates sloppy work more than she hates anything else. I attach the full project file with Vanessa's handwriting on the margins. I attach the receipts from the R&D account that Vanessa charged for personal shopping trips. I attach the voicemail I saved from 3 months ago that I never had the courage to use, the one where Vanessa says, "Listen, Claire, someone has to take responsibility for the Delaney miss, and it's not going to be me, so just play along and I'll make sure you get the next promotion, okay?" There is no next promotion. In my old life, I waited for it for 2 years. I got a coffee mug and a $15 gift card to a sandwich shop that had closed 6 months earlier. I hit send. My phone buzzes again. This time, I answered. Claire. Vanessa's voice is clipped, impatient. The way she sounds when she's already decided you're going to do what she wants, and she's just going through the motions of asking. "Did you get my message? I need you here. The Hanley numbers are a mess, and I need someone to." Someone to what? I cut her off. Take the fall, say it was my fault so you can walk into that boardroom with clean hands, silenced. Then. "Excuse me, Vanessa, I know you wrote those projections. I know you changed the baseline data 2 days ago because you wanted a bigger bonus target. I know you've been using the R&D line for your personal expenses, and I know you've already told the board that I'm the lead on this project, so they'd blame me when it blows up." She laughs. It's a short, brittle sound. The kind she uses when she's trying to regain control. "You're not making any sense. Are you drunk? 3 days ago, you told me that if I ever spoke out of turn, you'd make sure I never worked in this industry again. Do you remember that conversation?" She doesn't answer. That's the thing about Vanessa. She's used to people folding. She's used to silence and nodding and yes, of course, I'll fix it. She's never had someone fight back, not really. The people who try get pushed out fast, and the rest of us learn to keep our heads down and our mouths shut. "Claire, I don't know what's gotten into you, but you need to get to the office right now or I promise you'll regret it." Regret? I laugh and even I'm surprised by how steady my voice sounds. I've already regretted it. I regretted it every single day for 3 years while I watched you climb and I sank. I regretted it when I got fired for a project you designed. I regretted it when you called my new boss and told him I was unstable. I regretted it every time I looked in the mirror, and didn't recognize the person who was too scared to say one simple word. "Stop this," she says, but her voice cracks on the second syllable. "Whatever game you're playing, it's over. You're a junior associate. I built this company's marketing division from the ground up. No one's going to believe you over me." "Eleanor Chan already got my email," I say, "along with the receipts, the voicemails, and every draft of the Hanley proposal with your handwriting in the margins. I sent it at 11:48. She's probably reading it right now." The silence on the other end of the line stretches so long I check to make sure the call hasn't dropped at, "You're lying," she finally whispers, "You can check your inbox." I hear her typing. I hear her breath catch, then stop entirely. "Claire." Her voice is different now. Smaller. The voice she uses when she's cornered and trying to find a way out. "We can talk about this. We can work something out. You don't have to do this." 3 years, I say, and the weight of those words sits heavy in my chest. I carried your mistakes for 3 years. I took the blame when you messed up the Delaney account. I took the blame when you overpromised on the McAllister timeline. I took the blame when you lost that client in Portland because you forgot to show up to the meeting. Every time you said it would be worth it. Every time you said you'd remember. And every time, I was just the person who made it easier for you to keep your job. I can get you promoted. I can get you anything you want. I don't want anything from you. I say, and the strangest thing happens. I mean it. I don't want your empty promises. I don't want to watch you take credit for my work. I don't want to spend another night rewriting your mistakes while you sleep in your penthouse and call me at 2 a.m. to make sure I'm still suffering. So what do you want? To walk into that boardroom tomorrow and not lie? I stand up, grabbing my jacket from the hook by the door. "I'm coming in, Vanessa. But I'm not coming to fix your proposal. I'm coming to tell the truth." She starts talking again, something about loyalty, something about how I'll ruin my own reputation if I go through with this, but I've already stopped listening. I hang up, pocket my phone, and head for the door. The elevator takes forever. I stand in the hallway of my building, and I think about the last time I did this walk. I was scared then. I was shaking. I told myself that if I just worked hard enough, Vanessa would eventually see me as an equal instead of a tool. I told myself that my silence was strategic, that I was paying my dues, that the people who got ahead were the ones who learned how to take a punch and keep smiling. I was wrong. The lobby doors open onto a street that looks exactly like I remember it, except I'm not the same person walking through it. There's a cab idling at the curb, the same cab I took last time, the same driver who asked me if I worked too hard and I laughed and said something about hustle culture that I get in anyway. I give him the Sterling Tower address. And I watch the city blur past the window, neon lights and empty sidewalks. And I let myself feel the strange, terrifying thrill of doing something I never had the guts to do before. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Vanessa again. Then a text. "Eleanor Chun just called me. What did you send her?" I don't answer. I pull up the file one more time on my phone, scrolling through the evidence I've been collecting for 3 years. In this life I've only been awake for 2 hours, but in my head, I've been preparing for this moment for 1,000 days. I know exactly what I'm walking into. I know exactly what I'm going to say. And for the first time in longer than I can remember, I'm not afraid of the aftermath. The cab pulls up to the Sterling Tower. I pay the driver, step out onto the sidewalk, and tilt my head back to look at the 67 stories of glass and steel that I used to think meant success. They don't mean anything. They're just a building. They're just a job. They're just the place where I spent years making myself smaller so someone else could take up more space. I push through the revolving doors. The security guard waves. I wave back. The elevator doors open, and I step inside, press the button for the executive floor, and watch the numbers climb. In 2 minutes, I'm going to walk into that boardroom and tell the truth. In 3 minutes, Vanessa is going to realize she's not the only one who knows how to play this game. In 4 minutes, everything is going to change. And this time, I'm not the one who's going to lose. The executive floor smells like lemon polish and someone's overpriced perfume. I remember that smell. I remember walking through these doors at 6 a.m. with dark circles under my eyes and a knot in my stomach so tight I couldn't swallow. I remember Vanessa standing by the coffee machine, already fresh and polished, telling me she'd handle the presentation if I just gave her the notes. She didn't handle it. She took my rewritten proposal, flipped through it once and said, "This still looks like you wrote it." Then she walked into the boardroom and told everyone she'd been forced to step in because my work was below standard. I'm not letting that happen again. The hallway is empty except for Marcus, our head of operations, coming out of the men's room with a paper towel in his hand. He stops when he sees me. His eyebrows go up, and I can see the calculation happening behind his eyes. It's 12:15 a.m. Juniors don't show up at this hour unless something is very, very wrong. Claire. He crumples the towel and tosses it in a bin. Did Vanessa call you too? Something like that. I keep walking and he falls into step beside me. She's in there already, he says, nodding toward the conference room at the end of the hall. Been on the phone with Eleanor for the last 20 minutes. I don't know what's happening, but she's not happy. She's never happy, I say. She's just loud about it when she's losing. Marcus gives me a strange look. I don't blame him. Last week in this timeline I was the quiet one, the one who apologized for things that weren't my fault, the one who brought donuts to Monday meetings and smiled when Vanessa made jokes at my expense. He doesn't know I've been dead inside for 3 years and then resurrected with a full dossier of her crimes. What are you doing here? He asks. Seriously, Claire? Whatever she promised you, it's not worth it. She didn't promise me anything. I stop in front of the conference room door. The glass walls are frosted, but I can see Vanessa's silhouette pacing inside. Her phone pressed to her ear, her free hand chopping the air like she's trying to cut her way out of a box. I'm here to show her what happens when she picks the wrong person to destroy. Marcus grabs my arm. His grip is light, but it's a warning. I've seen people try to go up against her. They don't last. I know. I pull my arm free. But I've already lasted. I've already been through the worst of it. And the worst of it is, she doesn't even remember my name half the time. She calls me Kathy. She calls me Karen. She calls me that girl. I'm not going to be that girl anymore. I push open the door. Vanessa spins around. Her phone is still at her ear, but she lowers it slowly when she sees me, her eyes narrowing into those sharp, calculating slits I know so well. She's wearing a silk blouse and tailored pants, even at midnight, even when she's been caught red-handed. Because Vanessa doesn't do casual. Vanessa does performance. I'll call you back, she says into the phone. She hangs up without waiting for a reply and sets the phone face down on the conference table. The table is covered in printouts. I recognize them. They're the same reports I forwarded to Eleanor. The same receipts, the same evidence of every lie she's told and every corner she's cut. She's been trying to build a counter-narrative, the way she always does. Twisting facts, rearranging timelines, finding someone else to blame. Claire. She says my name like it's a foreign language she's being forced to learn. I was just on the phone with Eleanor. She's very confused about some emails she received. No, she's not. I walk to the table and pull out a chair, sitting down across from her like we're about to play a game of chess. She's not confused at all. She's just trying to figure out how to explain to the rest of the board that she's been protecting a liability for the last 5 years. Vanessa's jaw tightens. The muscles in her neck stand out. For a second, I see the crack in the armor, that tiny flicker of panic she tries so hard to hide behind her designer clothes and her boardroom voice. You're making a very serious accusation, she says, and her voice is steady, which tells me she's working hard to keep it steady. And I want you to think very carefully about what you're doing. You send those documents to the board, you're not just exposing me. You're exposing yourself. You were my direct report. You had access to all of it. Why didn't you say something sooner? Because I was scared. I shrug because it's the truth and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. Because you told me you'd destroy my career if I spoke up. Because you made me believe that no one would ever believe me over you. And for a long time I thought you were right. You're still a junior associate with 3 years of experience. I've been in this industry for 15. The board trusts me. They've trusted me through worse situations than this. Have they? I tilt my head. Because I sent them a timeline. Every project you've mismanaged, every client you've lost, every junior you've sacrificed to save yourself. You think they don't notice patterns. You think Eleanor Chen got to her position by ignoring red flags. She's been watching you, Vanessa. She just needed someone to hand her the evidence. Vanessa's eyes flick to the door. Marcus is standing there, half in and half out, clearly unsure whether to stay or go. She looks at him like he's a potential ally. Which is hilarious because Marcus has been on her bad side for years. He just doesn't have the leverage to do anything about it. Marcus, she says, could you give us a moment? He looks at me. I nod. He retreats, pulling the door closed behind him, and I hear his footsteps fade down the hallway. We can fix this, Vanessa says the second the door clicks shut. The mask drops and underneath it, she's almost human. Almost pleading. I know you're angry. I know you feel like I've been unfair to you. And maybe I have. Maybe I've been so focused on the big picture that I haven't noticed how hard you've been working. But that can change. Everything can change. I don't want your promotion, I say. I don't want your mentorship. I don't want a single thing you have to offer. Then what do you want? Her hands are flat on the table now. Palms down, like she's trying to steady herself. Why are you doing this? I lean forward. The table is cold under my palms. My heart is beating fast, but my voice is steady as stone. I want you to know what it feels like, I say. To be on the other side of the table. To watch someone walk in and dismantle everything you've built. To realize that the person you stepped on is standing up and stepping on you back. I want you to remember every name you've thrown under the bus. Every lie you've told. Every career you've ruined to make your own path easier. I want you to see them all in my face right now. She blinks. Once. Twice. Then she sits back in her chair and folds her arms. You think this is going to be some big victory for you, she says. You think the board is going to pat you on the head and give you a medal. But they're not. They're going to ask questions. They're going to wonder why you stayed silent for so long. They're going to wonder what else you've been hiding. I'm not hiding anything. I reach into my bag and pull out my phone, pulling up the folder I've been curating for years. I have everything. Email chains. Voicemail recordings. Photos of you leaving the office at 3 p.m. while you told clients you were in back-to-back meetings. I even have the text messages where you told a recruiter not to hire me. The one from 3 months ago. The one you sent after you promised you'd give me a stellar reference. She goes pale. That's the thing about people like Vanessa. They commit so many small cruelties that they forget the details. But I remember. I remember every single one. That's not, she starts. It's not what I interrupt. It's not true because I have screenshots. I have the recruiter's forwarding email. She sent it to me by accident. Remember, she thought I was you. She thought she was confirming the reference. And then you told her I was volatile and hard to manage and prone to making careless mistakes. Vanessa's mouth opens, closes, opens again. Nothing comes out. I was going to let it go, I say. I was going to let it slide and just keep my head down and hope that eventually you'd stop coming after me. But you never stopped, Vanessa. You just kept finding new ways to remind me that I was small. And you were big. And that's the way things were always going to be. Her phone buzzes on the table. She looks at it. I can see the screen from across the table. Eleanor Chun, incoming call. Are you going to get that? I ask. She stares at the phone like it's a snake. Because I think you should. I continue. I think Eleanor wants to tell you that the board has scheduled an emergency meeting for tomorrow morning. I think she wants to tell you that they've pulled every file you've ever touched. I think she wants to know why you told her that I was incompetent when I've been the only one keeping your projects from completely imploding. Vanessa's hand hovers over the phone. She doesn't pick it up. It stops buzzing, and the room goes quiet. 3 years, I say again because I can't stop saying it. 3 years of my life that I'm never getting back. 3 years of staying late while you left early. 3 years of apologizing for mistakes I didn't make. 3 years of pretending you were a mentor instead of a predator. You're being dramatic, she says, but her voice is weak. Am I? I stand up, pushing my chair back. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you didn't blame me for the Delaney account. Tell me you didn't call my new boss and tell him I had a drinking problem. Tell me you didn't blacklist me at 3 different firms after I left. She doesn't answer. She can't. Because I'm not just reciting the past. I'm reciting the future. In my old life, this is exactly what she did to me. I got fired and then she made sure I couldn't work anywhere else. She destroyed me so thoroughly that I ended up selling insurance to people who didn't want it, and she didn't even lose a minute of sleep over it. Tomorrow morning, I say, I'm going to walk into that boardroom and tell every single person exactly what you've done. And then I'm going to walk out, and I'm never coming back. She stands up too. For a second, we're face to face, and I realize I'm taller than her. I never noticed that before. She always seemed so large, so imposing, so untouchable. But she's just a woman. Just a woman who got used to winning and forgot how to lose. You can't do this, she says. I already did. I pick up my bag and head for the door. I just needed to say it to your face first. I walk out of the conference room, down the hallway, past Marcus, who's standing by the water cooler pretending he wasn't eavesdropping. He looks at me with something like awe, and I almost laugh because of all the things I expected to feel tonight. Awe from Marcus was not on the list. Claire, he calls after me. What happens now? I stop and turn. The elevator doors are open in front of me, waiting. Now, I say, I go home and get some sleep. And tomorrow, I tell the truth. And after that, I don't know. But for the first time in 3 years, I'm okay with not knowing. I step into the elevator. The doors slide shut. And as the numbers start to count down, I press my hand against the cold metal wall and let myself breathe. She's scared. I saw it in her eyes. She's scared, and she has every right to be. Because tomorrow the game changes. And this time I'm holding all the cards. The boardroom is packed when I walk in. I'm 5 minutes early, and every single seat is already filled. Eleanor Chan sits at the head of the table with her reading glasses perched on her nose, a stack of papers in front of her that I know are my emails, my attachments, my 3 years of collected evidence. She doesn't look up when I enter, but I see her fingers pause on the page. She knows I'm here. The other board members are arranged like a jury. 6 of them plus Eleanor. 7 people who hold the power to end Vanessa's career with a single vote. I spent 3 years believing they were untouchable, that they existed in some higher plane where my voice could never reach. But they're just people. People who like good numbers and hate surprises. And right now I'm the surprise they didn't see coming. I take the seat at the opposite end of the table. The same seat I sat in 3 years ago. Or 2 years from now. My head spins for a second, trying to remember which timeline is real and which one I'm escaping from. Then I see Vanessa walk in and all the timelines collapse into this one. She looks terrible. I notice it immediately, and I notice that everyone else notices too. Her hair is pulled back too tight, like she yanked it into a ponytail on the way out the door. Her blouse is wrinkled at the collar. Her makeup is too heavy, caked on to hide the circles under her eyes that no amount of concealer can fix. She spent the night strategizing, I can tell. She spent the night calling everyone she knows, pulling favors, threatening, bargaining, trying to find a way out. She doesn't find one. Vanessa sits down across from me, and for a long moment we just look at each other. Her eyes are hard, but there's something underneath them that I've never seen before. Something that looks terrifyingly like fear. Thank you all for coming, Eleanor says, folding her hands on the table. I know this meeting was called on short notice, but we have a situation that requires immediate attention. She glances at me, then at Vanessa. Claire, I appreciate you being here. I understand this can't be easy. I nod. I don't trust my voice yet. Vanessa, Eleanor continues. I'm going to be direct with you. The documentation we received last night raises serious concerns about your conduct on multiple projects over the past 2 years. Specifically, we have evidence that you knowingly misrepresented data, shifted blame to junior staff, and used company funds for personal expenses. These are not minor infractions. Vanessa's smile is tight, controlled. The same smile she used when I told her I was quitting her project team. The same smile she used when she fired me in my old life. She's playing a role, and she's good at it, but I can see the cracks spreading underneath. I've reviewed the documentation, she says, and her voice is steady, practiced, almost bored. And I've compiled a detailed response. Most of the claims are either taken out of context or outright false. I'm happy to explain each point in turn. She gestures to a folder on the table. I didn't see her bring it in, but she must have hidden it under her coat. I recognize the tab pages. She's been up all night crafting a defense, and I know exactly how she's going to play it. She's going to say I was confused. She's going to say I misinterpreted her instructions. She's going to say I was ambitious and impatient and looking for a way to fast-track my own promotion. I've seen this movie before. I know every scene. Before we get into your response, Eleanor interrupts. I'd like to ask Claire a few questions. Claire, you sent us a significant amount of evidence last night. Can you confirm that everything in your email is accurate? Yes. I meet her eyes. Every document, every receipt, every voicemail. I have backups if you need them. And you're prepared to testify that Vanessa asked you to take responsibility for the Delaney account failure, despite the fact that she was the project lead. I nod. She called me into her office the day before the client review. She told me the numbers were off, and she said if I took the blame, she'd make sure I got the next promotion. I have the conversation recorded. I have her emails confirming the timeline. Vanessa's smile flickers. I see her hands grip the edge of the table that I reach into my bag and pull out a small recorder. Eleanor raises an eyebrow. I started recording conversations with her last year. I say, though in this timeline, last year hasn't happened yet. But no one needs to know that. I was worried about retaliation if I ever came forward. I wanted to protect myself. I press play. Vanessa's voice fills the room, tinny but unmistakable. I don't want to hear any excuses, Claire. You're going to stand in front of that client, and you're going to tell them the mistake was yours. I'm not taking a hit for something I didn't do. Her voice again. You think I want to fire you? Of course not. But if you can't handle the responsibility, maybe you should consider whether this job is really right for you. Her voice again. I've been doing this for 15 years. I don't need you questioning my decisions. I need you to do what you're told and keep your mouth shut. I stop the recording. The room is silent except for the hum of the air conditioning. Those are snippets from 3 different conversations. I say, I have full transcripts if you want them. Eleanor removes her glasses and sets them down with a deliberate clink. Her eyes are on Vanessa now, and there's no warmth in them. I've worked with Eleanor enough to know that she doesn't get angry the way other people do. She gets cold. She gets methodical. She gets relentless. That, Vanessa, she says, do you have anything to say in response? Vanessa opens her mouth, closes it, tries again. Those recordings they're misleading. You're only hearing part of the conversation. I was trying to coach her. I was trying to help her take ownership of her own mistakes. Ownership. Eleanor's voice is flat. You asked her to take ownership of a mistake you made. I didn't. Did you or did you not tell Claire to take the blame for a project you managed? Vanessa's eyes dart around the room. Looking for an ally, a sympathetic face, someone who might step in and save her. No one does. 7 board members, all looking at her like she's a financial projection that just went negative. I made a mistake, she finally says. The words come out like they're being pulled from her throat with pliers. I was under a lot of pressure. I made a poor judgment call. But I never intended to harm anyone's career. I almost laugh. Almost. But I hold it in because I want to hear her dig the hole deeper. You used the R&D account for personal shopping trips. I say, that's not a poor judgment call. That's fraud. I reimbursed. You reimbursed $600 out of a $3,000 total. I have the receipts. I have your signature on the expense reports. I have the bank statements showing the charges were made at a boutique in Soho while you were supposedly in a client meeting in Chicago. The room shifts. I see Marcus in the back corner, his arms crossed, a grim smile on his face. I see 2 other junior staffers who were invited to observe, their eyes wide with disbelief. I see the board members exchanging glances that look like they're already reaching a verdict. I want to speak privately with Claire, Vanessa says suddenly. I think we have some misunderstandings that would be cleared up better off the record. Oh no. Eleanor shakes her head. The board has already heard enough. We're going to take a 15-minute recess. When we come back, I expect a full account of your actions, Vanessa. Everything. Because from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing a pattern of behavior that suggests you've been using your position to protect yourself at the expense of everyone around you. Vanessa's composure finally breaks. That's not true. I've given this company 15 years. I've sacrificed personal time. I've taken on impossible projects and delivered. You can't just take the recess, Eleanor cuts her off. Use the time to think. Vanessa stands up so fast her chair scrapes against the floor. She looks at me with an expression I've never seen on her face before. Not anger. Not hatred. Something worse. Something that looks like she's finally realizing she's lost. I stay in my seat while everyone else filters out. Marcus catches my eye on his way to the door. He gives me a thumbs up. I don't smile back, but I feel something loosen in my chest. This is it. This is the moment I've been building toward. 3 years of waiting, 3 years of swallowing poison, 3 years of pretending I was okay while she picked me apart piece by piece. And now she's standing in the corner of the boardroom with her head bent, looking at her phone, her fingers trembling as she scrolls through whatever messages she's getting. That she's finding out that no one is coming to save her. That I walk over to her. I don't know why. Maybe I want to see her face when she realizes it's really over. Maybe I want to say something that will make her remember this moment as clearly as I remember every moment. She made me feel small. You look tired. I say. She doesn't look up. You got what you wanted. Are you happy? No. I lean against the table, arms crossed. I'm not happy. I'm not sad either. I'm just done. Done being afraid. Done being silent. Done being your scapegoat. Easy for you to say now. She finally looks up and her eyes are red-rimmed. You've never had to carry the weight of this company on your shoulders. You've never had to make decisions that could destroy everything. Everyone makes hard decisions, I say. The difference is I didn't throw other people under the bus to make mine easier. You did. Over and over again. And now the bus is coming back for you. She stands up straight. For a second, I think she's going to say something vicious, something final. Instead, she just shakes her head and walks toward the door. This isn't over, she says as she passes me. I turn to watch her go. It is for me. She pauses at the door, her hand on the handle. You think you're the first person who's tried to bring me down. I've been doing this for 15 years, Claire. I know how to survive. I know how to come back. Maybe, I say. But this time, I'll be here to make sure you don't. She walks out. The door swings shut behind her, and I'm alone in the boardroom with the hum of the air conditioning and the echo of my own voice. I stand there for a long moment, letting it sink in. The weight I've been carrying for 3 years. The anger. The fear. The endless, grinding exhaustion of fighting a battle I never wanted and never asked for. It's almost over. But something tells me she's not done yet. The way she looked at me, the way she said this isn't over. There's a plan rattling around in her head, and I don't know what it is yet. But I know Vanessa. I know she doesn't go down without a fight. I pull out my phone. I need to check my email. I need to see if there's anything else she could use against me. Anything I missed in my preparation. The recess ends in 3 minutes. I have 3 minutes to figure out what her next move is going to be. Because if I know Vanessa, she's not walking away empty-handed. She's going to try to take something from me on her way out. I just don't know what it is yet. The boardroom door clicks shut behind her, and I'm alone with the hum of the overhead lights and the faint scent of Vanessa's perfume still hanging in the air. I should feel victorious. I should feel like I've just won the longest, hardest battle of my life. But instead, my stomach is churning with something that feels dangerously close to dread. Because I know Vanessa. I know how her mind works. I know that when she says this isn't over, she means it with every fiber of her being. She's not going to just walk away. She's going to find a way to drag me down with her. I pull out my phone and scroll through my emails. Nothing unusual. A few messages from colleagues asking if I'm okay. A note from Marcus saying he has my back. An automated reminder about the quarterly compliance training that I've been ignoring for 6 months. Then I see it. An email from HR. Timestamp 10 minutes ago. Subject line. Urgent, employment verification request. My thumb hovers over the message. I know what this is. I've seen this play out before. In my old life, Vanessa called every firm in the city and told them I was unstable, incompetent, a liability. She did it slowly, quietly, so I wouldn't notice until I'd already been rejected from every job I applied for. But this is different. This is fast. This is her making her move before the board even reconvenes. I open the email. Dear Claire, we have received an employment verification request from Sterling Partners regarding your previous role. Please note that this is a standard request and does not require any action on your part at this time. However, if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office. Sterling Partners. That's her husband's firm. That's the place she's been trying to get me blacklisted from for months. In my old life, she didn't even have to lift a finger. She just told her husband I was trouble, and he told his partners, and suddenly I was poisoned to every firm that mattered. She's doing it again. Right now. In the middle of this meeting. She's trying to bury my future before I can even get my hands on my present. I close my eyes and take a breath. I have maybe 10 minutes before the board comes back. 10 minutes to figure out how to stop her. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Claire, it's Jenna from Sterling Partners. I'm sorry to reach out like this, but I need to tell you something. Vanessa just called my boss and said you were fired for misconduct. She said you're trying to sabotage her reputation. I don't believe her, but she's making calls everywhere. I thought you should know. Jenna. I remember her. She was an intern at Sterling when I was still at the firm. She always seemed smart and sharp. We only spoke once or twice, but she must have liked me enough to warn me. I typed back. Thank you. I'll handle it. 3 dots appear. Then, she's also sending something to the board. I don't know what it is, but she told my boss it would change everything. My blood goes cold. Something to the board. Something that would change everything. What could she possibly have? I start scrolling through my phone again. Checking every folder, every file, every piece of documentation I've collected. I know I have everything. Every voicemail, every receipt, every email chain. There's nothing she could send that would discredit me. Unless she's not trying to discredit me. Unless she's trying to hurt someone else. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Marcus. She's talking to Eleanor in the hallway. Looks intense. Something about you and a client. I don't know what she's saying, but Eleanor looks pissed. I feel the floor tilt underneath me. A client. What client? I've only been on a handful of major accounts. The Delaney project was the only one that went sideways, and I have proof that Vanessa was responsible for that. There's nothing else. Then I remember. 3 years ago. The McAllister account. Vanessa promised them a timeline that was impossible, and I was the one who had to deliver the bad news when the project ran over budget. The client was furious. They threatened to sue. And Vanessa told them it was because I was inexperienced. She said I'd taken the lead on the project without her approval. But she was wrong. I have emails. I have meeting minutes. I have everything except something clicks in the back of my mind. The McAllister client. Their legal counsel. There was something I didn't document. Something I never thought to save. A phone call. Late at night. Vanessa telling me to delete the emails. Telling me that if anyone found out she'd signed off on the impossible deadline, she'd be in trouble. I'd deleted them like she asked. I'd cleaned up her mess and kept my mouth shut. And now she's going to tell the board that I was the one who deleted evidence. She's going to say I was trying to cover my own tracks. My hands are shaking. I can't believe I missed this. I can't believe I was so focused on the evidence I did have that I forgot about the evidence I didn't. I need to think. I need to come up with a plan. But the door is already opening, and Eleanor is walking in with a look on her face that I've never seen before. It's not anger. It's not disappointment. It's something closer to betrayal. Claire, she says, and her voice is cold. I need to speak with you. Alone. The rest of the board files in behind her, but they stop at the door like they've been warned to stay out. Marcus is in the back, his face pale. He gives me a small shrug, and I know he doesn't know what's happening either. I stand up. My legs feel like they're made of wet paper. Eleanor walks to the head of the table and waits. The door clicks shut behind the others. I've known you for 3 years, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I've watched you work hard. I've seen you take on projects that other people refused. I've defended you when other people said you weren't ready for senior positions. I know, I say. And I appreciate that, Eleanor. I always have. Then why didn't you tell me about the McAllister deletion? The question hits me like a punch to the chest. I open my mouth, but no words come out. I knew she was going to bring this up. I knew Vanessa would find a way to twist it against me. But hearing it out loud, hearing the disappointment in Eleanor's voice, it's worse than I imagined. I didn't delete anything. I finally say. Vanessa told me to delete certain emails. I refused. I kept everything. Eleanor's eyes narrow. Vanessa says she has a recording of you admitting to deleting evidence. A recording? Of course. Of course she has a recording. Vanessa has been collecting her own ammunition for years. She's not just playing defense. She's been preparing for a war. She's lying, I say. She's desperate. She's trying to take me down with her. Eleanor doesn't respond immediately. She walks to the window and stares out at the city. I've known Vanessa for a long time, she says. I've seen her do things that I didn't agree with. I've seen her step on people to get ahead. But I've never seen her lie about something this serious. She's lying about me, I repeat. I have proof. I have emails. I have meeting minutes. I have everything. Then show me. Eleanor turns around. Show me the emails that prove you kept everything. Show me the records. My stomach drops. I have the emails. I have the proof. But it's not enough. Vanessa has a recording, and recordings are powerful. They're visceral. They're hard to argue with. I pull out my phone and scroll through my saved files. I find the folder labeled McAllister, and open it. Everything is there. Every email, every meeting minute, every note I took during every conversation, but Vanessa's recording exists. And I have no idea what she's going to play here. I say, handing my phone to Eleanor. Everything is there. Every communication, every decision, every timeline. I documented everything because I knew she was going to come after me eventually. Eleanor takes the phone and scrolls through it. Her face is unreadable. I watch her read through the documents I've saved. She spends a long time on the meeting minutes, checking dates and signatures. She reads through the emails, her finger tracing the screen. I found it, she says. But I also found something else. She looks up at me, and her expression has shifted. It's not anger anymore. It's something closer to curiosity. This email, she says. From Vanessa to the McAllister team. It says, I've reviewed the projections, and I'm comfortable with the accelerated timeline. And it's dated 3 days before the client complained about the budget. I nod. I have that email. I kept it because I knew she'd try to blame me. Then why did Vanessa send a recording that says you deleted evidence? Eleanor asks. Because it seems like you have all the evidence that proves you didn't. I don't know. I truly don't know. And that's what scares me the most. Vanessa isn't stupid. She wouldn't send a recording that can be easily disproven. She has something else. Something I haven't anticipated. Eleanor hands me back my phone. I need to see the recording, she says. I need to hear what she has. I look at the clock. The meeting is supposed to resume in 5 minutes. That's not enough time to figure out what Vanessa's next move is. That's not enough time to prepare. She's going to play it during the meeting, I say. She's going to try to discredit me. Eleanor nods. I know. And I want to be ready for it. She walks to the door and opens it, gesturing for the others to come back in. The board members file in one by one. Marcus gives me a questioning look. I shake my head slightly. I don't know what's about to happen. Vanessa walks in last. She looks different now. More confident. More composed. She has a folded paper in her hand that she sets on the table in front of her. I know what's on that paper. I just don't know how she got it. Before we reconvene, Eleanor says, I need to inform everyone that there have been some new developments. Vanessa has provided additional documentation that she believes is relevant to this discussion. Vanessa stands up, and I see the slight tremor in her hands. She's nervous. She's trying to hide it, but I know her too well. I know the little tells. The way she touches her necklace when she's lying. The way she clears her throat before she delivers a blow. I want to apologize in advance for what I'm about to share, she says. This is difficult for me to do, but I think the board deserves to know the full story. She unfolds the paper and slides it across the table toward Eleanor. These are emails, she says, from Claire to a competing firm. She was soliciting job offers while working on our most sensitive accounts. She was trying to use our proprietary information as leverage to get a better position. Every eye in the room turns to me. I feel the weight of their stares like physical pressure. That's not true, I say, but my voice is weak. These emails prove otherwise, Vanessa says. They show Claire offering to share details about the Hanley Group project in exchange for an interview. I shake my head. I never sent those emails. I don't know where she got them, but I didn't send them. Eleanor picks up the paper and reads through it. Her face is unreadable, but I see her brow furrow slightly. Vanessa, she says slowly. These emails are dated 2 weeks ago. But Claire wasn't on the Hanley Group project 2 weeks ago. She was pulled onto it last week. Vanessa's face pales. Just slightly. Just enough for me to see it. The emails could be fake, I say, realizing what's happening. She could have created them to try to discredit me. I never solicited a job offer from anyone while working on sensitive accounts. Eleanor holds the paper up to the light, examining it. The formatting looks consistent with our company email system, but the timing is off. I don't have the original version, Vanessa says quickly. Claire deleted them from the system, but I was able to retrieve them from the backup. They were sent from her account. The timestamps are there. Then show me the backup, Eleanor says. Show me the original message headers. Show me the metadata. Vanessa's hand hovers over the paper, uncertain. She doesn't have the backup. She has a printed version that she's hoping no one will question. She's betting on the fact that Eleanor won't have time to verify everything. But Eleanor is more thorough than that. She's been on this board for 22 years. She's seen every trick, every lie, every desperate attempt to cover a mistake. The backup files are confidential, Vanessa says. They're stored on a separate server. I can't access them without special permissions. Then request the permissions. Eleanor's voice is firm. We'll wait. The room goes silent. The air is thick with tension. Vanessa knows she's caught. I can see it in the way her hands are pressed flat against the table. In the way she's not quite meeting Eleanor's eyes. I can't, she finally says. The backup server was corrupted last week. I tried to access it yesterday, but the files were lost. Interesting, Eleanor says. Because I just checked the backup server this morning. Everything is intact. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Eleanor has been one step ahead the whole time. She knew the emails were fake. She knew Vanessa was lying. She was just waiting for Vanessa to dig herself into a deeper hold. I think we have all the evidence we need, Eleanor says, turning to the rest of the board. Vanessa, your resignation is effective immediately. We'll be conducting a full audit of your accounts and your projects. If we find any additional misconduct, we will be pursuing legal action. The room erupts into murmurs. A few board members exchange glances. Someone coughs. Someone else shuffles their papers. Legal action, Vanessa says, her voice cracking. You can't threaten legal action. I've done nothing wrong. The fake emails say otherwise, Eleanor says. And there are more where that came from. I've been looking into your conduct for months. Claire's evidence just gave me the excuse I needed to bring everything to the table. I look at Vanessa and for the first time I see true fear in her eyes. The game is over. She's lost. But I don't feel victorious. I feel exhausted. I feel like I've been carrying a weight that I'm finally allowed to set down. I'll walk you out. I say. I know it sounds strange. I know I should stay in the boardroom with the others, basking in my victory. But I need to see her face when she leaves. I need to know that this is really, truly over. I follow her to the elevator. The hallway is empty. She presses the button and we wait in silence. You destroyed me, she says. Not with anger. Just a flat statement. You destroyed yourself, I say. I just made sure everyone could see it. The elevator arrives. The doors slide open. This isn't over, she says, stepping inside. I'll find a way to come back from this. I'll find a way to take you down. I don't answer. I just watch the doors slide shut. Then I turn around and walk back to the boardroom. I have a meeting to finish. I have a future to rebuild. And for the first time in 3 years, I'm not afraid of what comes next. The boardroom feels different when I walk back in. The air is lighter, like someone opened a window and let all the stale tension escape. Eleanor is already packing her things, sliding papers into a leather briefcase with the kind of calm efficiency that tells me she's done this 100 times before. The other board members are murmuring among themselves, but they look up when I enter. Marcus gives me a small nod. Someone pats me on the shoulder as I pass. I should feel triumphant. I should feel like I've just climbed a mountain and reached the summit. But all I feel is hollow. The adrenaline that carried me through the meeting is fading. And underneath it is a bone-deep exhaustion I can't shake. Claire. Eleanor's voice cuts through the noise. Can I have a word? I follow her to the corner of the room, away from the others. She closes her folder and looks at me with an expression that's hard to read. You did good in there, she says. Better than I expected, honestly. I didn't think you had that kind of fight in you. Neither did I admit that. But I need to ask you something. And I need you to be honest with me. I nod. My heart starts beating faster. I thought it was over. I thought I'd said everything I needed to say to the McAllister account, she says. The emails you kept. You said you documented everything because you knew she was going to come after you eventually. That's right. Then why didn't you come to me earlier? Why did you wait until it was almost too late? I looked down at my hands. They're still trembling slightly. I was scared. I thought if I spoke up, she'd find a way to destroy me. I thought I had to have everything perfect before I could say anything. I thought I had to be untouchable. And now I meet her eyes. Now I know I don't have to be untouchable. I just have to be honest. Eleanor studies me for a long moment. Then she reaches into her briefcase and pulls out a business card. I want you to call this number, she says. It's a headhunter I've worked with for years. She specializes in placing people who've been through what you've been through. People who've been underestimated and overlooked. People who've had to fight for everything they have. I take the card. It's cream-colored, thick paper, with a name and a phone number embossed in gold. I don't know what your plans are, Eleanor continues. But I know you're not staying here. After what you've been through, I wouldn't expect you to. But I want to make sure you land somewhere good. Somewhere you can actually thrive. Thank you, I say. The words feel inadequate. They feel like they're not enough to cover everything I'm feeling right now. Don't thank me yet. You're going to have to work for it. The world doesn't just hand things to people like us. But you've already proven you can fight. Now you just need to prove you can build. She holds out her hand. I shake it. And then she's gone, walking out of the boardroom with the other members trailing behind her. Marcus gives me a thumbs up before he leaves. The door clicks shut, and I'm alone. I stand there for a long moment, staring at the card in my hand. Eleanor's name is printed on it. Her personal number. I don't think she gives that to many people. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I pull it out, expecting another message from someone congratulating me or asking for details. But it's an unknown number. No name. No profile picture. I answer anyway. Hello. Claire. The voice is familiar, but I can't place it. It's female, young, slightly breathless, like she's been running. It's Jenna. From Sterling Partners. Jenna. Thank you for the heads up earlier. I really appreciate it. Of course. I know what she's like. She's been doing this to people for years. I just wanted to make sure you knew what was coming. I pause. Something in her voice doesn't sound right. There's a note of urgency I didn't catch before. Is something wrong? I asked. I need to tell you something. About Vanessa. She's not done. She's been making calls all morning. Not just to Sterling. To everyone she knows. She's telling people you fabricated evidence. She's saying you hacked into her accounts to get the information you used against her. My stomach drops. Of course she's not done. Vanessa doesn't know how to lose gracefully. She's going to destroy you if she can. Jenna continues. She's already started. I overheard her on the phone with someone from the PR department. She's trying to spin this as a vendetta. She's saying you've been obsessed with her for years. Obsessed? I almost laugh. She's the one who was obsessed with me. She couldn't let go. She kept finding ways to come after me even after I left. I know. I believe you. But not everyone will. She's very good at manipulating people. I take a breath. I need to stay calm. I need to think clearly. Do you have any idea what her next move is? I asked. She's meeting with someone tonight. I don't know who. But I heard her on the phone saying she had a plan B that would flip the narrative completely. My mind races. Plan B. What could she possibly have left? She used the fake emails. She used the recording threat. She used everything she had, and she still lost. Unless she wasn't using everything. Unless she was saving something for later. Do you know where she's meeting? I asked. No. But she mentioned a hotel. The Langham. She said something about the bar. The Langham. That's where she used to take clients. The bar is private, quiet, hard to overhear. If she's meeting someone there, it's serious. Thank you, Jenna. I owe you one. Just be careful. She's dangerous. She's got nothing to lose now, and people with nothing to lose do terrible things. She hangs up before I can respond. I stand in the empty boardroom, the phone still pressed to my ear, my mind racing through possibilities that I need to go to the Langham. I need to find out who she's meeting. I need to figure out what her plan B is and how to stop it. But I also need to be smart about this. I can't just walk in there and confront her. That's what she wants. She wants me to react. She wants me to make a scene so she can play the victim. I walk out of the boardroom, through the executive hallway, past the reception desk, and into the elevator. My reflection stares back at me from the polished metal doors. I look tired. I look like I haven't slept in days. I look like someone who's been through a war. But I also look like someone who's not going to give up. The elevator opens onto the lobby. I walk out, push through the revolving doors, and step into the sunlight. The city is buzzing with the energy of a normal weekday. People rushing to meetings, grabbing coffee, scrolling through their phones. None of them know what just happened. None of them care. I take a cab to the Langham. The driver asks if I'm okay. I tell him I'm fine. I'm not fine, but I'm not going to explain myself to a stranger. The hotel is beautiful. Old money. Gold fixtures and marble floors and a doorman in a top hat. I walk through the lobby, past the check-in desk, toward the bar at the back. I see her before she sees me. Vanessa is sitting in a corner booth, facing away from the entrance. Across from her is a man in a gray suit. He's older, silver-haired, with a confident posture that suggests he's used to being in charge. I recognize him. It takes me a moment, but I recognize him. It's Robert Chin, Eleanor's husband. My heart stops. What is he doing here? Why is Vanessa meeting with Eleanor's husband? I slip into a seat at the bar, close enough to hear but far enough to blend in. I order a soda and pretend to check my phone. I need to make this quick, Robert is saying. Eleanor doesn't know I'm here, and I'd like to keep it that way. Of course. Vanessa's voice is smooth, composed. She's back in control. She's operating. You're asking me to do something that could put my entire career at risk, Robert continues. If anyone finds out I'm involved in this, I'm finished. My wife is on that board. Your wife is about to make a very public mistake, Vanessa says. She's trusting the wrong person. She's letting Claire manipulate her into making a bad decision. If I can prove that Claire fabricated evidence, everything changes. I feel my hands go cold. She's trying to turn Eleanor against me. She's trying to use Robert to get to his wife. Prove it, Robert says. Show me the evidence. Vanessa reaches into her bag and pulls out a manila folder. I recognize it. It's the same folder she had at the board meeting. The one with the fake emails. I've been collecting this for months, she says. I knew Claire was going to come after me eventually. I just didn't know when. So I prepared. Robert takes the folder and opens it. He reads through the pages, his expression unreadable. This looks legitimate, he says. It is legitimate. Every document is real. Every email was sent from her account. She tried to use our proprietary information to get a job at a competing firm. She's a liability, Robert. If you let her stay, she's going to bring down everyone around her. Robert closes the folder. He's silent for a moment. Then he asks, what do you want me to do with this? Show it to Eleanor. Make her see the truth. Make her understand that she's being played. Robert shakes his head. Eleanor doesn't listen to me when it comes to board matters. She's independent. She makes her own decisions. Then find another way, Vanessa says, her voice hardening. Find someone who will listen. Find a way to get this information to the rest of the board. Because if you don't, I'm going to expose Claire myself, and I'll make sure everyone knows that your wife protected her. My stomach clenches. She's threatening him. She's threatening to expose Eleanor if Robert doesn't help her. Robert stands up abruptly. I need to think about this. I'll contact you later. He leaves. Vanessa sits in the corner booth, watching him go. Then she turns toward the bar, and I realize she knows I'm here. She smiles. Claire, she says. I was wondering when you'd show up. I stand up from my seat. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to respond to what I just heard. Don't look so shocked, she says. You knew I wasn't going to go quietly. You knew I was going to fight back. I knew you were going to try, I say. I didn't know you were going to drag Eleanor's husband into it. Robert is a means to an end. Nothing more. He'll do what I ask because he's afraid of what I'll do if he doesn't. You're threatening him. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. I walk toward her booth. My legs feel steady. My voice is steady. I'm not going to let her see me shake. You're not going to get away with this, I say. Robert won't help you. He knows what you are. Does he? Vanessa laughs. He doesn't know anything. He knows what I've told him, and that's enough. He's a man who's used to being in control, and right now he's terrified of losing it. You're playing a dangerous game. I've been playing this game for 15 years. I'm very good at it. I sit down across from her. We're face to face now, the same distance we were in the boardroom, but the power dynamic has shifted. She's on offense again. What do you want? Vanessa, what are you actually trying to accomplish? She leans forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. I want my life back. I want my reputation back. I want to walk into that office tomorrow and have everyone look at me the way they did before you decided to ruin everything. I didn't ruin anything. You did that yourself. Maybe, but you're the one who made it public. You're the one who took my mistakes and broadcast them to the world. You made me do it. You left me no choice. We always have choices, Claire. You chose this path. And now you're going to have to live with the consequences. She stands up, pulling her bag over her shoulder. She's leaving. She's going to go make more calls, send more emails, do whatever she can to destroy me before I can rebuild. This isn't over, she says. It's never going to be over. Not as long as I'm still standing. She walks out of the bar. I stay in the booth, staring at the empty seat across from me. I need to get to Eleanor. I need to tell her what Vanessa is doing. I need to stop Robert from believing anything Vanessa says. I pull out my phone and dial Eleanor's number. It goes straight to voicemail. Eleanor, it's Claire. I need to talk to you. It's urgent. Vanessa is meeting with your husband. She's trying to get him to discredit me. Please call me back. I hang up and stare at the screen. I don't know if she'll call. I don't know if she'll believe me. But I can't stop now. I've come too far. I stand up and walk out of the bar. The hotel lobby is quiet, the afternoon sun streaming through the windows. I step outside and take a deep breath. The cab ride back to my apartment is a blur. I don't remember getting in the car. I don't remember giving the driver my address. I just remember walking through my front door and collapsing onto the couch. My phone buzzes. A text from Marcus. Where are you? Eleanor is looking for you. I type back. On my way back. What happened? His response comes fast. Something about Robert. He called her. She's furious. What did you do? I stare at the screen. Robert called her. He must have told her about the meeting. He must have realized what Vanessa was doing. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if Eleanor is furious at me or at him. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a call. Unknown number. I answer. Claire, it's Eleanor. Her voice is tight, controlled. We need to talk. Now. I know. I'm on my way. Don't come to the office. Come to my house. I'll send you the address. She hangs up before I can respond. I look at my phone. The address comes through in a text. My heart is pounding. I don't know what's waiting for me at Eleanor's house. I don't know if she believes me. I don't know if Robert convinced her that I'm the villain. But I'm going to find out. I grab my coat and head for the door. Eleanor's house sits on a quiet street in the kind of neighborhood where people know their neighbors and no one locks their doors. It's the last place I expected her to live. I always pictured her in a penthouse, something cold and modern with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the river. But this is a brownstone with a small garden out front and a porch swing that creaks in the wind. It feels like a home. I stand on the front steps for a long moment before I knock. My heart is hammering so hard I can feel it in my throat. I don't know what she's going to say. I don't know if Robert has already poisoned her against me. I don't know if I'm about to lose everything I just fought to gain. The door opens. Eleanor stands there in a cashmere sweater and jeans, her reading glasses pushed up into her hair. She looks tired, older than she did in the boardroom. But her eyes are steady. Come in, she says. I step inside. The house smells like cinnamon and coffee. There are family photos on the walls, kids in school uniforms, a golden retriever with its tongue hanging out. It's so ordinary, so normal that I almost forget why I'm here. Eleanor leads me into the living room. Robert is sitting on the couch, his head in his hands. He looks up when we enter, and I see the guilt on his face. Claire, he says. I need to apologize. I don't say anything. I just sit down across from him, waiting. I shouldn't have met with Vanessa, he continues. I shouldn't have listened to anything she said. I was stupid. I was scared. She threatened to ruin Eleanor's reputation if I didn't help her, and I panicked. But you called Eleanor, I say. You told her what happened. He nods. I realized what I was doing. I realized I was letting her manipulate me the same way she's manipulated everyone else. I couldn't let that happen. I couldn't let her use me to hurt you. Eleanor sits down beside her husband and takes his hand. Robert made a mistake, she says. But he fixed it. He came to me the moment he left the hotel. He told me everything. So Vanessa's plan didn't work. I say. Her plan didn't work, Eleanor confirms. But she's not going to stop. She's already sent emails to the board, to the media, to anyone she thinks will listen. She's trying to create a narrative that you're unstable and vindictive. I feel the weight of that settle on my shoulders. I knew she was going to fight back. I knew she wasn't going to go quietly. But hearing it confirmed, knowing that she's already spinning the story in her favor, it feels like a punch. What do? I ask. How do I fight this? Eleanor is quiet for a moment. Then she looks at Robert. He nods. We've been talking, Eleanor says. And we think the best thing you can do is nothing. Nothing. I stare at her. You want me to just sit back and let her destroy me? No. I want you to let her destroy herself. Eleanor leans forward. She's going to keep pushing. She's going to keep lying. And eventually, she's going to overplay her hand. She's going to make a mistake so obvious that no one can ignore it. And when she does, you need to be ready to walk away. Walk away? Where am I supposed to go? Eleanor reaches into her pocket and pulls out a folded piece of paper. She hands it to me. Remember the headhunter I told you about? I called her this morning. She has a position open at a firm in Boston. It's a senior role. They're looking for someone with your experience and your drive. And they don't care about the drama happening here. I unfold the paper. It's a job description. The salary is more than I ever dreamed of. The title is exactly what I wanted. And the city is far enough away that I could start fresh. Boston, I say. I've never even been to Boston. It's a good city, Robert says. Cold in the winter, but good. And the firm is solid. They're not going to be swayed by gossip. I look at Eleanor. Why are you doing this? Why are you helping me? She smiles. And for the first time, I see warmth in her eyes. Because I've been where you are. Not exactly where you are, but close. I've been underestimated. I've been overlooked. I've been told I wasn't good enough, wasn't strong enough, wasn't smart enough. And I fought my way through it. I see that same fight in you. I look down at the paper in my hands. The words blur. I blink and I realize there are tears in my eyes. Thank you, I manage to say. Don't thank me yet. You still have to get through the next few days. Vanessa is going to make a lot of noise. She's going to try to pull you into a public fight. And you need to stay above it. You need to show everyone that you're not the person she's describing. How do I do that? Eleanor stands up. You take the high road. You don't respond to her accusations. You don't engage with her. You just keep your head down, do your work, and wait for her to burn herself out. Robert stands up too. And you let us handle the board. Eleanor and I will make sure everyone knows the truth. We'll make sure she can't do any more damage. I look between them. This is the last thing I expected. I thought I'd have to fight for my survival. I thought I'd have to spend the next few weeks defending myself against Vanessa's lies. But here they are offering me a way out. I don't know what to say. I admit that. Say yes, Eleanor says. Say yes to the job. Say yes to the fresh start. Say yes to walking away from all of this and never looking back. I think about it. I think about everything I've been through. The sleepless nights. The endless apologies. The way I made myself smaller and smaller until I barely recognized myself. And I think about what it would be like to start over. To be somewhere where no one knows my name. Where no one knows what Vanessa did to me. Where I can build something entirely mine. Yes, I say. I'm in. Eleanor smiles. Good. I'll call the headhunter tonight. You should start packing. I walk out of their house feeling like I'm floating. The sky is starting to darken. The first stars appearing overhead. I stand on the front porch for a moment, breathing in the cool evening air. My phone buzzes. It's another unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up that, Claire, it's Vanessa. Her voice is tight. Desperate. I need to talk to you. Vanessa. I keep my voice even. I have nothing to say to you. Please. Just listen. I know I've made mistakes. I know I've done things I shouldn't have. But I'm trying to fix this. I'm trying to make it right. You're trying to save yourself. There's a difference. She's quiet for a moment. Then her voice cracks. I'm scared. I've never been this scared before. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have anyone left. My husband left me this morning. My friends won't return my calls. I have nothing. Vanessa. I say, and I mean it. You did this to yourself. Every choice you made, every person you hurt, every lie you told. That's on you. No one else. I know. She's crying now. I can hear it in her voice. I know it's my fault. I know I ruined everything. But I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to start over. I close my eyes. Part of me wants to hang up. Part of me wants to say something cutting, something that will make her feel even worse. But another part of me, the part that's been through this before, knows that she's just looking for someone to blame. I can't help you, I say. I can't fix this for you. You have to figure it out on your own. Please. Just tell me what to do. Just tell me how to make it right. I think about all the times I asked the same question. All the times I begged Vanessa for guidance, for approval, for some sign that I was doing the right thing. And I think about how she never answered. She never helped. She just let me drown. Apologize, I say. Not to me. I don't need your apology. But to everyone else. To the people you hurt. To the people you stepped on to get where you are. And then leave. Walk away and never do it again. She's quiet for a long time. When she speaks again, her voice is small. I don't know if I can do that. Then you'll never be free. I pause. I'm done with this conversation, Vanessa. I'm done with you. This is goodbye. I hang up before she can respond. I walk back to my apartment with the stars overhead and the city buzzing around me. The streets are crowded with people heading home from work, grabbing dinner, meeting friends. I pass a cafe where I used to eat lunch, the same one where I used to cry in the bathroom. I pass the office building where I spent 3 years of my life trying to be someone I wasn't. And for the first time, I don't feel sad about any of it. I feel free. 3 weeks later, I'm on a plane to Boston. The city looks different from above. Smaller. Cleaner. Full of possibilities I never imagined. I have a new job. A new apartment. A new life waiting for me. And I have Eleanor's voice in my head, telling me that I can do this. That I've already done the hardest part. I also have something else. A letter delivered to me the day before I left. It's from Vanessa. Handwritten. Messy. I'm sorry, it says. I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for the lies. I'm sorry for the manipulation. I'm sorry for making you feel like you were never good enough when the truth is, I was the one who wasn't good enough. I'm leaving the city. I'm starting over somewhere else. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fix what I broke, but I'm going to try. That's all I can do. Goodbye, Claire. I hope you find everything you're looking for. I read it once, then twice. Then I fold it up and put it in my bag. I don't know if she means it. I don't know if she's capable of change. But the letter is there, and it's something. The plane touches down. The wheels hit the tarmac with a jolt that feels like a new beginning. I step off the plane, into the terminal, into the bright sunlight streaming through the windows. I take a deep breath. This is my life now. This is my chance. And I'm not going to waste it.